Hey, what's up? It's Gene with Dent Repair Now, back with another video. A little PSA warning, right? Public service announcement. Here we got a Volvo convertible. A return customer of ours bought this car not too long ago. It had a couple of dings, so we brought it in. We're getting ready to get started, and I noticed a few things. One, somebody has attempted a repair on the door ding that's out here, and they also have drilled a couple of holes, and they didn't treat the holes. We've got all kinds of never-dos on this car. Come on over and let me show you. All right, so we've got a door ding right here, right above the door handle. It's got a little chip in it. The customer's okay with a touch-up, but we need to get that dent out. So I noticed that there were some push marks and actually some tap marks in there. I'll turn the light on in a second. But if you look right above the dent, as that reflection rolls over, you can see it sort of jumping around. Somebody's attempted to get in there. And then, like, we don't drill holes here. So I started to look for access in, and behind this flap is a great place. Whoever attempted this drilled 2 holes in the door. They are not treated. The paint's all chewed up. We're gonna brush touch all that, put anti-corrosion coating on it. There's already 2 factory existing holes there, plus this big slot to try to get into this brace. Now let me turn the light on and show you what the dent looks like. So look, all above here is where they tried to get in, and they've sort of made a little bit of a mess out of things. It's really a shame. We're gonna do what we can do, sneak in here and get this fixed up. I'll go ahead and set the camera up and let you guys watch how we would go about accessing this. But that is just ugly. All right, so we are all over the dent now. We've got great access. I turned the heat gun off, as you can hear, and we are going to tap this down. I gotta let it cool down so we're not marring the paint. I was able to sneak in. Got a little bit of what we call a snail trail from sneaking in behind the brace. But I'm gonna come in and tap all this down, open up around this little pit, and then come back in and hopefully finish it off. Once we're done with that, we're gonna give this a little wet sand and see if we can't clean up some of that last technician's attempts at repair here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can't give you a little peek into how we're doing it. Man, this last technician really made a mess out of this car. So I'm just slowly going in and picking up all these little micro lows. They really, you know, this would have been a pretty straightforward door ding repair had they not made such a mess. We would, in a perfect world, be working inside of that chip, you know, the little chip in the paint, and bringing this all up nice and neat and clean. But they were all over the place, right? They never even really got into the dent, and they just made highs and lows all over the place. So now we've got to go in and clean all of that up. And I'm keeping the heat on the paint, one, because you can see it's already like sort of semi-compromised in a few spots anyways, plus the chip. That heat lets us keep the paint more flexible and prevents it from cracking. So when we get a sharp pit like this, we actually have to over push a little bit. It's probably starting to look a little bit high. Yep. So it's pinching together. I've got to bring that up, and then we'll go in and remove that metal down and keep up and around until it's gone. You can see there we knocked it back down. Each time we go through that process, the dent becomes slightly more shallow. Back in, taking this tool, going up in and down, and little twists to move the metal up. So we're getting much closer. Obviously, this repair is never going to be perfect with that stone chip and with the mistakes that the last technician made. However, we're getting flat, and much like myself, the stone chip doesn't bother this customer as much as the dent does. You know, stone chips are almost inevitable. Dents are repairable. So we can make that go away, and I'd much rather have the little flaw of a touch-up than have to refinish the door and possibly the quarter panel on this. So I was using a plastic knockdown. I'm going to switch now to this. This is our VIP knockdown. It's a mirror polished piece of steel that'll really let us get in here and be real precise. But I need to go light so we don't damage the paint. Alright, so I moved the camera to try to give you a little more of a look like I can see here looking down the panel. Get that heat going again. Sneak in and see if we can't get this. I'm going to try to get this pretty flat this time, and then probably move into our wet sand, and then a little dab of white touch-up paint, and then we'll address the holes in the end of the door from the last technician. All right, so here's where we got to. Here's where we're gonna leave it. Obviously, our ugly little stone chip there. Up here is where that original tech really compromised the paint. I tried to run the buffer over it a little bit more and sort of seal that clear up, but I'm gonna put a little dab of clear on those two spots and a dab of white paint in here. But to paint this, you're gonna paint this entire door, and for color match, because we're on the back side, they'd end up painting the quarter panel too. So you're painting the side of the car really for that little chip, and I would much rather just touch up a chip myself. So we got it pretty flat, always a little bit more, well, a lot more difficult to work after somebody else has attempted a repair, but I think the customer's going to be thrilled to death. We'll get that touched up. Let's come on over here and deal with the holes in the end of the door. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back in front of the camera, but you're not going to hear me on the mic. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of touch-up paint on the bare metal where they drilled the holes. We're gonna let that dry for a minute with the heat gun, and then I'm gonna use our corrosion protection again, right, 3M Cavity Wax Plus, and get the holes covered as well as everywhere we were working and the last technician was working, so there's no bare metal inside of the door. All right, so there you have it. Touch-up looks pretty good. There's no big ugly deep dent here anymore. It is just a little chip. So we were able to save that. I got rid of almost all of the texture the last technician created. Got some clear coat on those two marks where he sort of messed up the paint. The holes in the end of the door that should never have been put in, we treated, so we touched them up, put cavity wax on them, and then a butyl rubber and sealed them back up. I got that weather strip re-adhered for you when you're out there. Make sure you know who's working on your car. Check out their videos, check out their reviews. So thanks for watching. If we can help you out with a dent or a ding, or maybe somebody screwed up your car, give us a call, 724-554-1756, or visit us on the web at dentrepairnow.com. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next video.